any update on Trey?
No, not today.
You said he will be doubtful this week, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do you expect him to practice this week?
He'll be doubtful this week.
What about Shemar?
Same. We'll keep working it through week to week with him.
Will Flacco throw today?
Flacco will not throw today. It'll be similar to 2 weeks ago. He'll throw tomorrow.
Well, do you have any kind of updated timeline on Mike Gesicki?
Yeah, things are coming along nicely. I think this is the last week of his 4 weeks he's required to miss. So we'll assess at the end of this week, see where he's at. I know he's met with doctors this week, but things have been encouraging. I don't want to make a prediction on where it lands, but his progress has been really good.
How do you think Burrow looked on Monday?
Really sharp, really sharp. I had not watched him throw. He'd been doing that with the trainers, so seeing him live on Monday, get a chance to do that, I'm not gonna say I'm impressed because that's how it always looks, but he was really sharp.
Did it look like he had been coming off an injury? I mean, how much could you tell?
No, not from a throwing perspective. I mean, everything was in the pocket. There wasn't, it wasn't 11 on 11, so he wasn't required to move. He did his normal movements, threw the ball nice, and so for now, that's where we're at. Like I said, we're not doing any 11 on 11. We'll have a really good progression plan for him as part of his rehab, and we'll go from there.
Do you have an idea of when you want to start 11 on 11?
We'll just get through this week and then figure out what next week holds. But internally, we got a good plan in place, and we'll just keep working through that.
What changes this week from last time you played Pittsburgh? Just a couple short weeks ago.
I mean, there's 3 games I think between both two games from us, 3 from them on tape. So they've had a couple personnel changes. We've had some personnel changes as well. It's always interesting, feels like they're tight turnarounds for the divisional games. And so you spend obviously a lot of time watching our last game against them, trying to predict what they do the same, what they do different. That's the fun of it. You got to get ready to get into the game and be ready to adjust as we get going there. And I think both teams are built to do that. We've played these enough. So it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out.
With the Logan trade, what steps do you expect to see both Barrett and Demetrius take in their positions?
Well, just keep gaining experience from the reps they're getting. I don't think that the trade has anything to do with that. Their position and where they're at. Just keep learning. They're going to make mistakes. There'll be times they're slow to react to something. Let that be the one time it happens. And learn from that one, put it behind you, and continue to grow. And I expect both those guys to continue to do that.
I know Warren has talked a lot about, and Demetrius as well, about, I know Barrett has talked about Warren, and so has Demetrius. What kind of impact leadership does Warren provide?
Yeah, he's been around a lot of winning teams. He's played in countless NFC Championship games. So I think he's been a really good resource for that room, as especially right now, the veteran in the room. Him and Joe Giles Harris have got great experience. They've done a great job mentoring those guys, doing a good job with the roles that they're playing. And so I'm glad to have Warren. I think he's done an excellent job just helping, outside of the coaches, develop those young linebackers that we have.
From a work standpoint, what was the biggest objective that you had during the bye week?
Well, you just try to review any tendencies you got, both sides of the ball, things that are weaknesses that you want to continue to do, but you got to improve on, and how you're going to improve it, the strengths that you can build on. And so, again, there's I think sometimes it's a bit of an overreaction on what all changes during the bye week. It's just because we're always trying to review what we're doing every single week. We have that information. So, again, it's just fine-tuning some stuff and getting a little bit of an advance on Pittsburgh.
Is the O-line trending up? And if so, how?
I think that they're trending up. I think, we've had stability at center in the 2 tackle spots, and then you get the 2 young guards that are ascending and learning a lot really fast. This is a huge challenge for them. This game in a lot of ways goes as they go. It's a tremendous front group that Pittsburgh has. They present a challenge every game you watch. It a lot of times comes down to the trenches in this one, and especially on the road, silent cadence, the advantages that creates for them. And so we have to do a great job. They need to continue to trend upwards in a game like this.
If Shemar and Trey can't go, who are you looking to step up this week in place of them too?
Well, we still got Joseph, Miles, Cam, said, so we've got a group of guys that have been working in there that would continue to go.
It was a limited sample size, was said, but how did you think you played against the Bears and in the practices leading up to that? And since?
Yeah, I think it's good to have him back. The again, said's been about all the right stuff. It's just been unfortunate what happened to him, early in training camp, so he didn't get that spot. But he's been a guy we were excited about coming off of last season, all through the spring. He made a really good impression on everybody, defensive staff, special teams, and so just continue to increase his role as he gets more comfortable.
Zach, when it's time to finish a game, how much of that is the makeup of the player, their mindset, and how much of that is coaching to finish the right way, if that makes sense?
I think it's all different circumstances. Whatever that game dictates is usually how it goes.
Is there a certain way that you kind of preach finishing in practice, that you guys go about it as a coaching staff, or you as a head coach even?
It's always different. I mean, again, every game is going to come down to a different finish and what is required.
Do the stakes feel higher going into this week, knowing that the North is probably your best path to getting a division or getting a playoff spot? How do the stakes feel going into a game like this?
The stakes always feel high in divisional games, so I don't think where we're at in our season is different. But you do feel, anytime you're getting a chance. Right now, look at you're 2-0 in the division. We got a chance to go 3-0, and that would be a huge step in the right direction of putting us back in with the teams that are at the top 2 of our division. So it's always significant, regardless of where we're at. Whatever game of the regular season we're at, when you're playing a divisional game, chance to go 1-0 and separate yourself a little bit from the pack or get yourself into the pack. Huge. We're embracing it. Always feels like a big game when you're playing these types of games. All right.